Forget the Statue of Liberty and the skyscrapers. You are in Manhattan. But there is no city, only forests, mud, and silence. Suddenly, a ship appears on the horizon. You have just arrived in New Amsterdam in the 17th century. In Historia Reconstruida, we explore the eras that define the world and give them a visual identity. Let us start with this journey to the past. If you walked through what is now southern Manhattan in the early 17th century, the first thing you would notice would not be a great city, but a small, active, and surprisingly diverse settlement surrounded by wilderness. You are in New Amsterdam, a Dutch colony officially founded in 1624 by the Dutch West India Company, one of the most powerful companies in the world at that time. And although it may seem insignificant today, this modest settlement will eventually become the financial heart of the world. Before you opens a deep protected natural harbor, full of wooden vessels constantly arriving and departing, loaded with goods connecting this place to Europe, the Caribbean, and other colonies. The air smells of salt, damp wood, and animal pelts, because a considerable part of the economy here revolves around the fur trade, especially beaver, highly valued in Europe. As you venture into the city, you do not find organized streets like in modern cities. New Amsterdam grew without a rigid urban plan. Its streets are irregular, narrow, and in many cases, simply dirt paths formed by the constant passage of people, carts, and animals. Some follow old indigenous trails that existed before the European arrival. There are no sidewalks, and when it rains, the mud can make progress arduous. Houses and buildings are grouped practically rather than aesthetically, adapting to the terrain and the needs of their inhabitants. If you continue walking, you will notice the city is partially organized around its most important point, the fort. At the southern tip of the island is Fort Amsterdam, a defensive structure initially built with earth and wood and later reinforced with stone. This fort not only serves as defense against possible attacks, whether from other European powers or conflicts with indigenous peoples, but also functions as an administrative center. Here live the colony's Director General and other prominent officials, and from here decisions are made that affect the entire region. As you move away from the fort, more common dwellings begin to appear. The architecture clearly reflects Dutch influence. Many houses are built of wood, though the more affluent ones use brick brought as ballast on ships from Europe. Roofs are typically sloped, adapted to withstand winter snow, and some houses feature stepped gables, a typical feature of the Netherlands. Windows are small, not only for structural reasons, but also to conserve heat. There is no central heating system. Warmth comes from wood-burning fireplaces. On the main streets, especially near the harbor, you will find warehouses and workshops. Here work carpenters, blacksmiths, coopers, and other artisans essential for the colony's functioning. The sound of hammers, saws, and conversations in multiple languages fills the air. Because something that defines New Amsterdam from its beginnings is its diversity. Although it is a Dutch colony, it is not inhabited solely by the Dutch. Here live Germans, French, Scandinavians, Sephardic Jews, Africans, many of them enslaved, it should be noted, and even some English. It is estimated that by the mid-17th century, up to 18 different languages were spoken in this small settlement. The population is not large, but it is complex. There is a clear social hierarchy. At the top are the company officials and the wealthiest merchants who control much of the trade. Then come the artisans, farmers, and free laborers. At the bottom are the enslaved Africans who perform hard labor, from construction to domestic work. Unlike other colonies, some Africans in New Amsterdam obtain a limited form of freedom known as half-freedom, which allows them to work land and form families, although they remain obligated to provide services to the colony. If you continue north, you will notice the city begins to dissolve into farms and open land. New Amsterdam is not just an urban core, it is surrounded by agricultural land that supplies the population. These farms produce staples like corn, wheat, and vegetables. There is also livestock, though on a smaller scale. Self-sufficiency is important, but the colony relies heavily on trade to prosper. Returning to the center, the market is one of the most active places. It is not an enclosed building like modern markets, but an open space where merchants sell products brought from different parts of the world. Here you can find fresh fish, meat, bread, beer, a fundamental drink in the daily diet, and imported goods like sugar, tobacco, and spices. Transactions are made with coins, but barter is also common. The bustle is constant, with vendors announcing their products and buyers negotiating prices. The harbor, however, remains the economic heart. Sailing ships arrive loaded with furs, timber, and agricultural products and depart for Europe with these goods. In return, they bring tools, textiles, pottery, and other manufactured goods. This exchange makes New Amsterdam a strategic point within Atlantic trade. It is not a wealthy city yet, but it is a key piece in a much larger commercial network. Daily life here is hard and marked by work. Most people rise at dawn and work until sunset. There is no public lighting, so nighttime activity is limited. Houses are austere with basic furniture. Families are typically large and space is limited. Hygiene is a challenge. There are no sewer systems, and waste is often thrown into the street or nearby pits. Religion also plays a crucial role. The Dutch Reformed Church is the dominant religious institution, and attending its services is a central part of social life for many settlers. However, one of the most notable characteristics of New Amsterdam is its relative religious tolerance for the time. Although not absolute, it allows the presence of different faiths, including Jews and other non-reformed Christian groups, something uncommon in many other 17th century colonies. If you walk to the northern edge of the settlement, you will encounter a structure that will later give its name to one of the world's most famous streets. It is a wooden wall built in the 1650s to protect the city from possible attacks. This barrier marks the northern limit of New Amsterdam at that time. Beyond it, the island stretches into forests, hills, and territories not yet urbanized by Europeans. Throughout the day, you see sailors, merchants, soldiers, and farmers passing by. You see children playing in the dirt streets, animals moving freely, and women performing domestic tasks or participating in small businesses. It is not an orderly or clean city, but it is full of life, constant movement, opportunities, and tensions. And although at this moment it is called New Amsterdam and is under Dutch control, that dominion will not last forever. Everything is about to change. In 1664, English ships appear before the harbour. There is no great battle, there is no resistance, the city falls, and New Amsterdam ceases to exist. From that moment on, it will be called New York. What you are seeing is not just a city, it is the beginning of one of the most influential stories of the modern world. But our journey to the past ends here. Tell me, what impressed you most about the New York of the past? Leave it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this immersion in time, give it a like. Subscribe to Historia Reconstruida so you do not miss any journey, and click on this video if you want to keep discovering the best kept secrets of our past.